What's up, everybody? This is Geoff, iNcontroL Robinson, doing another movie review. This time it's for Jupiter Ascending. We saw it last night, opening night. Brief synopsis on the movie, and a warning: this review will have a slight spoiler about the plot. So if that really turns you off, turn back now. It's not going to be like the ending or something, but I'm going to talk a little bit about something that bothered me in the plot. It's Mila Kunis and Channing Tatum. It's done by the Wachowski brothers, who are two of my absolute favorite directors and writers. They've done amazing movies in the past, of course, things like The Matrix and so on and so forth. So the pedigree for the movie is fantastic. I don't have any big qualms with the actor and actress. And like I said, the directors and writers are phenomenal. It's great. So the synopsis on the film is it's basically a scientific kind of action thriller movie about an alternate. Well, no, it's like an explanation for current times, I suppose, but it takes place, I believe. No, not really in the future. It's just kind of like a sci-fi alternate. This is what's going on. A little bit Matrixy that way. We live our lives as we normally do on Earth, but we coexist with these aliens that kind of own these planets. They own Earth and they own all the other planets, and they're treated very economically. And here comes that plot spoiler. We're essentially being harvested and farmed for our life resource. Like 100 humans go into a measurement, a cubic thing of this stuff that has all these different kinds of names, and basically that stuff is used to make these humans, these alien humans, if you will, live forever. They live for 91,000 years is when the mother died. So to give you an idea of that. And they're like, are you vampires? And they're like, no, but I can kind of see where that lore comes from. So these super rich families harvest planets of humans to take up their bodies and their life source and then create an elixir that allows them to continue to rejuvenate their own genes. And this is kind of explained throughout the movie. It's kind of explained that genes and splicing and that kind of thing is their religion. That's kind of the ultimate goal. So lore-wise and story-wise, it's fantastic. It's really cool. There's all kinds of, even just the story itself I really like, but then the implications of what that could mean for self-evaluation of ourselves. The rich feeding off the poor, essentially, the ignorant, to live forever. The Abraxas families were all white, so there's maybe perhaps some commentary on racial stuff there. You can look deeper and find meaning in a lot of this, and I think that's pretty cool. I appreciate films that play with those ideas and give people things to think about. So that way it was really cool. Style-wise, CGI-wise, it's really gorgeous. It's a good film that way. It's very appealing to the eyes. And unfortunately, for me, that's where it kind of stops. I think this is a pretty terrible film. If I had to give it a rating out of 10, I think Anna's been using my face or something like that for a voting metric. Call it stars, call it what you will. I'd give it as low as like a 3 or 4 out of 10. It was actually quite bad. I wouldn't go back on what I said. Story, style, action. The beauty of the movie was very cool. The artistic direction of like the ships and the cities and the aesthetic of the simulants is what they called a lot of the people that were robots. Very interesting. But straight up, it was poorly acted. I'm not a huge Mila Kunis fan, and she's doesn't strike me as a particularly good actress, but I think if she had a weak spot, it would be action movies. That was some of the most uncompelling, like, oh no, and then like flutter to the next platform and be like, oh gosh, and like it was really bad. I think if you stuck me in stilettos, I could almost do a more convincing job as a heroine in peril. A lot of sticking on the acting, Channing Tatum, I don't dislike him, and I like him in comedies. I'm a pretty big fan of the Jump Street movies. I thought they were pretty silly and good at the same time. And certainly I can see him doing a decent job in some action movies, excuse me. So I'm excited for that. But I don't know if I'm a hater subconsciously because he's so beautiful or something. I don't know, but not particularly amazing. He was not the weak spot though. Like he wasn't like super amazing, but he was not. It wasn't terrible. Like I do actually. I'll be interested to hear your guys' thoughts on Mila Kunis. So that was acting. But actually, a lot of it was like editing. Editing was pretty weird and bad. We were all kind of talking after the movie. We got the feeling that this was supposed to be like a 6 or 8 hour epic that was cut down into 2 hours because there's just so much that was very shoddily explained, very quickly explained, or not at all. All kinds of plot holes, and it just was not great. Some of these characters were supposed to have motivations that were quite epic, but they were very like flippantly expressed. There was like infighting in the family over economy and control of the planets, but why? What does the economy, if one has more than the other, what does that mean? The one guy owned 4 planets, and that was the lowest. But he also turned out to be a jerk who was trying to not allow his brother and sister to get Earth, I guess. But Earth was not the most valuable. It was very valuable, but not the most valuable. There's just weird things like this going on. The mom was one of the biggest, objectives of the thing, and then there's this whole concept of so many people exist that when someone dies, there's going to be recurrence. Like the exact same cells, the exact same person basically will echo and be recreated just by the way things work. And that's pretty profound, but that was just kind of like, yeah, that's why you're here and you look like our mom. But she says things like the mom, but other than that has no recollection whatsoever of anything at all. And the bees listen to her and they obey her. And that's about it. The bees. Literally the bees. Not birds. Not all animals. Bees. So weird stuff like that. And a lot of people are going to be like, oh, iNcontroL, you're nitpicking. It wasn't that bad. It was that bad. There was a 5-minute segment where they have this like space DMV that was supposed to be kind of funny, but it wasn't quite funny, and it got funny towards the end, I guess, but it was a little bit out of place because we're supposed to be feeling weird and panicky about saving the life of this queen of Earth, essentially. The love story was some of the worst love story I've ever seen or heard in my life. And to be honest, if there's a thing a movie can do, it can convince the audience that there's an attraction between two people. I mean, shit, they put it in Alien vs. Predator, guys. There's a frickin' love story in Alien vs. Predator, but in Jupiter Ascending, they struggled. They had a tough time. And I'm going to quote the movie real quick for you. It's like the first time that they're showing love interest, Mila Kunis, Channing Tatum, they're like getting closer. Channing Tatum is a lichen of the future type space thing, and he's part dog. So he's like, we can't. You're the queen, and I have more in relation to a dog than a human. And she, I shit you not, romantically says, I like dogs. Which, for a lot of people, was a hang-up, and they were like, oh, okay, that's weird. But not that big of a deal. For me, movie ended. Done. I can't take it serious anymore. Because I'm not sure, but there's a chance that they were hinting at, they're playing, it was a joke on the idea that she's okay with being romantically attracted to dogs. And that, either you do it in an over-the-top hilarious, like, South Park movie, or you make it very obvious that she's being tongue-in-cheek. They did neither. It was neither. It wasn't a South Park film. She just kind of maybe suggested bestiality a little bit. I mean, as long as it's got Channing Tatum's abs, I'd be down, is what Mila Kunis said. And that got weird for me. And then the rest of the movie, it's not much better in terms of the romantic story. So, if you're in for an action movie with great art direction, then go. You can wear earplugs. You can listen to a basketball game. You can talk to your friends. But if you listen to the movie and if you're looking for logical plot and intelligent stuff, then you're going to have a tough time. It's going to be a tough film for you, I think. So again, I give this a good 3 or 4 out of 10. I think it was quite bad. I'd be interested to hear your guys' comments. It's out this weekend, so check it out. It's not like money poorly spent. We all were entertained, and it is gorgeous enough that I think if you're in just for a stupid action movie, you're going to get it. There's dinosaurs, there's keepers, there's elephant people trumpeting. It's basic. It's got some stuff in there. There's also Ned Stark, or Alec Trevelyan, as I know him as, 006. He's in there. He looks weird because he's acting better than everyone combined. The backup actors and actors did a good job, by the way. So it's not like it wasn't. There's been worse if you've seen The Room. Okay, so that's the movie review. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Make sure and subscribe if you haven't already. And let me know what you think. I'd love to read the discussion. So you guys take it easy, okay?